Hello everyone. Today, we will study Reading 2. What did you learn in Reading 1? Do you remember? That's right. We learned sentence reading. Today, we're going to take a step up and learn paragraph reading. Paragraph, unit of thought. We did basic training in reading English sentences. Paragraph is a unit of thought. I hope you improve your skills through reading training. In the case of English sentences that are not easily interpreted, we will study how to read them. Please read the following example. Try it for a while, even if it's a bit difficult. This example has two paragraphs. The reason we divide the paragraphs is that each paragraph has its own content. You can think of one argument in one paragraph. Having two paragraphs means that there are two arguments. If the English sentence is too difficult for your level, a perfect interpretation will be impossible. So, don't try to fully understand what the writer argues in the paragraph. If you can guess, it's okay. Sometimes the writer argues for only one thing in a paragraph. If there is one argument, you can easily read it. But in some cases, there are other arguments in front of the paragraph and the end. No matter how complex a sentence is, you can interpret with phrases. Even if all of them are not interpreted, you should focus on the verb phrase and try to follow the stream of thought. First, let's read it by dividing it into phrases. It's a logical sentence, so try to figure out the argument. Let's read the first part with the phrase structure. Scientists tend to divide science into two types. One deals only with the difficult, the elegant, and the fundamental. In other words, pure science. The other type of science is any branch that becomes associated with such mechanical arts as medicine, agriculture, and industry, clearly a form of impure science. The first sentence until the colon, scientists tend to divide science into two types. The verb is tend to divide. The subject of divide is scientists, and the object of divide is science. And into two types is followed. The first sentence is not that difficult. Even in the most complex paragraphs, there are sentences that can be easily understood if you look carefully. You have to guess difficult sentences based on those sentences. This first sentence means scientists divide science into two types. Let's read the last part. There are two sentences. The first sentence starts with one, and the verb is deals, and it ends with pure science. The second sentence starts with the other type of science, and the verb is, omit that clause, and it ends with impure science. Can you guess? This is an explanation of two types of science that scientists divide. One is pure science, and the other is impure science. The sentence immediately following it is difficult to read. Impure, however, is a rather pejorative adjective. If you are in a hurry, you can give up and pass, because you understand the overall meaning. The next sentence is, it is more common to talk of basic science and applied science. Do you understand? It is more common to divide it into basic science and applied science. The rest of this paragraph. The first sentence is a bit difficult to understand, but differentiation by adjective alone may not seem enough. If you are confident in the interpretation, please try it. The sentence at the end is not that difficult. There has thus been a tendency to call applied science technology. There are two verbs here, has thus been and core. Verbs are connected in a grammatical way to infinitive. The front part means there has been a tendency. The later part means applied science is called technology. And to interpret the second sentence, I have to give one explanation. The same noun applied to both makes the higher suspect and lends the lower too much credit. There can be multiple verbs in a sentence. This means that there are multiple sentences. Therefore, there must be conjunctions that connect sentences. If there are two verbs, there must be one conjunction. And if there are three verbs, there must be two conjunctions. We learned this in Lesson 2, Sentence Structure. Applied, makes, lends are verbs. However, makes and lends are connected by and. This is a horizontal connection. Applied is a different case. There is no conjunction. Since this verb phrase is a past participle that decorates the same noun, so it has no conjunction. In this case, it is a vertical connection. The reason why complex sentences with multiple verbs are difficult to interpret is that it looks like it is written in a single line, but the content is connected horizontally and vertically. It can be expressed as above if expressed in pictures. The meaning may not be interpreted well. That doesn't mean it failed, because we are already guessing the whole sentence. Science can be divided into pure science and impure science, or basic science and applied science. To interpret this sentence easily, the single word science can be used in hard-to-understand fields such as pure science or basic science. It is also used in rather easy fields such as impure science or applied science. So, it means the difficult thing looks lower and the easy thing looks higher. Well done. Shall we read the second paragraph this time? We can therefore speak of science and technology, and we know very well which is lofty, noble, and pure. Yet, the division is man-made and has no meaning in reality. Just as there is only one species of human being on Earth, and all divisions into races are but man-made ways of obscuring that fundamental truth. So, there is only one scientific endeavor on Earth, and all divisions into levels of purity are but man-made ways of obscuring that fundamental truth. In other words, science and technology are one, and neither can flourish without the other. The first two sentences are not that difficult. It means we can talk about science and technology, and we know which one is noble and pure. And the last two sentences that start with "in other words" are not that difficult. It means science and technology are one, and nothing can develop without the other. Therefore, the content of this paragraph may be that the distinction between science and technology is meaningless. Please interpret the rest parts. To help your study, I will give you 4 examples. I attached it as a comment on the YouTube video, so check it out and interpret it yourself. Today, we studied paragraph reading. It is certainly difficult and complex, but if you practice it, no matter how difficult it is, you can read it well. That's it for today. Next time is the final test. We are going to do an interview. I hope that you will have good results by preparing well in advance as you have learned. Thank you for listening. See you next time.